Hello and welcome. It is the final day of the ninth day, that is. In May 2019, my name is Derek. Welcome to the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like. That's within each's own risk and their own reward. It is 22 hours, 40 minutes, 45 seconds as of the recording of this video, which is 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Bitcoin prices in that of 6,234, which means it's about $108, a little under 2% away from Fibonacci number. If it happens to be the top, and I would not bet on it, then that is a pierce below. If it hits exactly the 63.4190, that's an exact hit. And if it goes above it, well, it'd probably be a pierce extra. But how much can I say is a pierce extra before it becomes too far? I mean, up towards 78, that's just a clear large break it. Now, if it goes up to 78, like say 30 fast, and then it comes back down to around the 63.40 area, just as fast, pretty much just as fast, yeah, that would count as a pierce. But when it gets to these points, it's all okay. Question mark. Now what? For I had Fibonacci lines even lower than this, but when it came up to, it's like, okay, now what? Are we going to go higher? No, okay. Well, how is the retracement going to work? Higher lows, Fibonacci retracement from here. Okay. Okay, well, we held the retracement level. We come back to this high. This was giving us signs that we'd probably go to next key level. It did. It did not resist. It showed signs going to the next level fast. Well, it went to the next level. And again, question mark again. So next key level is 48.41 down or 98.14 up. Looking at such via the daily term time frame, today's intraday high is at 62.42.52. Current price is 62.40.51. So I'm doing this pretty much exactly much on the minute of its year-to-date high. This thing's gonna probably break this. I don't know, by the end of this video. It's probably broken it by the time you have watched this video. But as I was stating before with this decline in here, it came before this signal of strength in here, showing at 52, 5300. It was, okay, yeah, this whole 63 and a half hit, it looks like it's coming. Oh, wait a second, why did it go down? Well, if you didn't know the news, technical analysis saved your BU double T, unless, of course, you had stops down below here. Okay. I'm not a fan of stopping out down like that. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And now we have a spot where it held the 18 lows for a few days and then showing this period in here. It might have been up 4 days in a row, but it was a big statement 4 days up in a row up because it broke through these layers of resistance. And then after going sideways or pausing this for like a few periods, starting on the yesterday's session for today, which is Thursday, starting Wednesday, it has managed to go and it's just making its move to where I've intended it most likely to go, to that of the 63.41 level, just continuing its upward momentum on the 4 hour time frame within that of higher highs and higher lows. So yeah, now what? Question mark. I don't know what it's going to do from this point forward. But just like I'm going to say the same thing every single time it's at this spot. Key fib, 38.2%, that's big. That's a big, big level. But it's even bigger than that because it's 38.2% up from this high and this low. I can get my Fibonacci calculator, put in the low of 31.29, and then the high, which is close to 20. We're get back a bit more. 19,892. 63.42, 38.2% up from that key level. High divided by low. But if we go even further amongst the Fibonacci levels. Let's go 19892 again. But this time, let's take a look at the long-term levels. And well, this low here says 109. Coinbase was really nothing back then as far as they were new, of course. And for me, Coinbase, I am in no need of Coinbase because I can use my hardware wallet and that of holding Bitcoins. But the 20 low one here is 152.4. And we see 6,300 here at the 76.4. And we see 3,100, 3094. Yep, Pierce be above, of course. And I say that because I mean I had buy orders ready to go at around 3,030, 3,020, 3,000 in that area, and the equivalency within the TUSD. Of course, they didn't hit. I did get a few but bits here or there for two reasons. One, because, yeah, let's just buy a little bit here. It's 4,000 on the way down. Okay, it's at like 36, 35. Let's buy a small amount. 31, 32. I mean, it's close. It's just, I know it's going down to 3,000, but of course it didn't. So I'll just get some. And then never did, so I had to take my TUSD. I turned it into Bitcoin, and I turned it into precious metals after that. But 3,100 and 6,300. So therefore, I put some lines on this Bitstamp one at the 31 and at the 63. Let's scroll this back to the weekly term. And price originally had its first move bounce from there. For its first move below the 18 average of lows, went there. It quickly rebounded back for being well below, of course, the break in here. Then to the band, where it then started to flatten. Comes back, piercing above, back to the newly declining band. Comes back again, resists the lower high to this. And this band really can't go down any much as it's just crunching in within this Fibonacci line, which was consistent support. Then it was consistent area of where it was just congesting from here from September all the way to its decline. And again, appears this is a 3084, so it was a differential of like 38 points or a little over 1%, which is nothing. Just like this here, we have a high right now in at 62.51. It's like 50 points off. It's really a hit now. Where would we go from here? Well, if we use the exact same Fibonacci numbers, we use the next higher one. Okay, let's do that. Well, 403. No, it's not that number. Well, what would the Fibonacci number be? And what would the percent be? Well, let's figure out that percent. It's pretty easy. What we'll do is we'll take the Fibonacci number of 61.8% and we'll multiply it by itself. Okay, point. And that gets us the 38.2%. Now, 1 minus that is 61.8%. So let's just multiply 0.618 again, which gives us 23.6. 1 subtract that would be 76.4, the one we've just done that calculates the 3,000. So let's multiply 0.1 or 0.618 again, which gives us the 14.5. So let's subtract that number by 1, which would get us 85.4. Let's remove the negative, which has got to be a plus minus number somewhere around here. You got to be kidding me. No? I've already found the XY. See, the problem with my calculator that comes on the Windows is I don't have an X to the power of Y button. I have X to the power of 2, but no XY. Now I need the plus minus, which is this one right in here to turn a negative to a positive or a positive to a negative. Okay, well, guess what we'll have to do? 0.8541. Okay, I can remember that. As long as I write it down somewhere, I can remember it. So then, let's clear this. There's got to be a clear button. I guess I can just start writing. Okay, let's do one. Okay, where's the C? 9980. Close enough. Divided by 152. That gets us 131. The XY button is here. So to the root of 0.8541. And that equals 64, but I got to multiply it by the low of 151. So the next key level, breaking the 63, is probably going to be somewhere near 10 even. Yep, 9740. Which totally coincides within what the 61.8% number is that was shown earlier amongst this video. So if this level is not resistance, or even after it is resistance and then it later manages to break out above it, my next target for Bitcoin is $10,000, which would be a test of really this previous high. But as the story has been going on within Bitcoin, I need the daily chart, I think, to show it a lot more clear. And I'm going back to its previous days. Has been what I called lower highs and matching lows. For originally it was lower highs and lower lows from the 20,000 top to the first 6,000 hit. Lower highs, lower lows. Okay. And then after it had its huge first capitulation moment, going to 6,000, it had a fast move that came back over 11. But that 11 was still a lower high. Okay, and that's fine in the market, but it's important to, within its correction, to hold its move. And you really don't want to go too deep, but if you do, I mean, technically, if you hold above it, that's fine. And this low in here, I mean, technically, it's a higher low, but it's a matching low. And then totally a lower high in here. Not as fast of a rally, but still very sharp. And this one here, it spent more time in the area. It also pierced a little bit extra from this, but again, just a little bit extra. And it ended up, of course, having a, well, not really too sharp, but sharp enough rally with, again, a much noticeable lower high. And I didn't, why does, yeah, I gotta remember to push a plus button there. So, I really probably have to expand even further on this one. But as we can see, the low in here in August, matching, lower high. Matching, lower high. Matching, lower high. Matching in here, well, lower high, and then of course it broke below it. So during that entire duration of time, it was keeping that pattern in play. And for me to get any status to say, okay, the bulls are in charge of the market, one of the early stages is making your higher high and doing something with that higher high. Okay. Well, it hasn't yet made a higher high. For I can do circles on these highs again, and there's this one. But what's the next lower high from this one on the breakdown? Do I count this? In some levels you do, I suppose. So you got the option A. Do I count this as one? If that's the case, your entry point should have already been in here. If you wait for it to come back, it never did, of course. Or do I need to see it have some sort of phenomenal better move? especially when it's just like the 4,000. That was barely a move. I'm gonna remove the drawing tools, even though those lines are pretty cool and they're very easy to bring back in. Maybe not the exact number, which isn't hard to do. But when I look at this on a more longer term chart, I need to see a high that gets above the 18 average of highs. And there hasn't been any really that has done it until now. There was the attempt in here, didn't do it, close, and now a full blown move. But all it's done is just come back to where it came from. So when was the smart time to buy? Was it back in here on this breakout? Was it back on this low? Are we still waiting for that entry point? A lot of people will be, because it has to successfully hold this move from the 3100 low and where we stand now. So the Fibonacci is going to be very, very important. From point A low, that's 3,120. From point B high, and that's only going to keep rising. That level right now is 62.5101. Let's put it in. Whatever. I don't know why I pushed. I know why I pushed the 3, because I was typing so fast with my fingers. 3122.28. So right now, if it's going to top now, 4,071 is that must hold area. If there's any retracement, comes back down, starts to lift off, show good momentum there after that, then that brings bullish signals, and off we go to the races. Same thing, of course, if it goes down to 4,800 as a nice 38.2% move. But as the bull market continues, then these numbers would change. For if, assuming the market goes up, it pierces extra as we expect, or I expect anyway, I don't know what other people are expecting, but let's just assume it goes close to 78.78. Well, now those numbers are 42.22 is the must hold. So that number would mathematically start to rise as the highs do so as well. So point B is going to keep on changing throughout the minutes and days coming up. Now, as a trader, I don't trade Bitcoin against the dollar really, at least not at this time frame. But this would be sell areas. You buy down here, you sell here, and then you figure out, okay, where's your play from this point on? Is the next sell area is 10,000. So I would be looking for that to be where, okay, I'd be where I might sell next. And as far as turning Bitcoin into things, whatever, those are be the ideal point. So if I have been waiting to buy things with Bitcoin, it doesn't look like I'm going to wait too much longer. And then on the retracement, okay, well, I'm expecting that 61.8% down move. So I'm going to wait to buy at 4,000, or I'm waiting to come back to where it came from, do that 3,100 buy over, or I'm going to be calculating Fibonacci downside, which is what I'm looking for, is an up move that goes down, or just a move going down, and then it makes a lower high rally. And then if that rally fails, it's probably going to make a lower low. So the lower low target level is that lower high number divided by the low to the root of negative 0.618. Multiply the low. And assuming the top is 68.7, I'd see a down target of like 1900. Maybe I'd play a safe bet, put 2000 in. Maybe I'd play that number in at 19. Maybe I'd look for a Pierce Extra, 16 or 1700. Whichever strategies you use, and just understanding your strategies, understanding probability, all that type of stuff, how the math works as far as portfolio management. To me, those are ideal things when trying to execute the strategies you are trying to endeavor. Okay, let's take a quick look at altcoins because they're getting their asses kicked. ApeCoin is holding in there, though, doing very, very well. We can see here on the daily term that it's just got a lot of these great moves. Hasn't had any of these up moves really lately. As far as the market momentum, we can see how on this red period the 18 average started to shift down, putting it into a decline. 18 average of highs has been resistance most definitely. 18 average of lows piercing extra has been consistent support, but the last couple of days have changed as like I stated, the 18 here we have the resistance here. It came up to this point, pulled back. Okay, this next day it gets to it, closes near the highs, and it got a noticeable pierce above. Then the session on Thursday today, it had a pause period, and it's doing pretty good with the red candle down today. And in viewing such on the 4-hour term time frame, what we can see on all of these moves in here, matching in lower highs. Well, this one is by no means a matching high. Now getting the 18 average with a nice upward momentum, but it's all whatever here and there because my last buy is 1,000, so I'm far, far off from my sell order or buy order coming into play. Raven Coin, it's been getting his ass kicked. To say that a 2.4% move is impressive, especially when the intraday move on a green candle isn't that bullish on the intraday move. Says what the altcoins are doing. So everything is up. I'm going to go to btc.d to finish this video off. I meant to do that. I totally forgot over the last few minutes as I've been doing this. DGB down to 158, so it's now recently making new lows. TTC, I got a buy order ready to go. My second one, I put my entry position in around 12, so I'm now waiting for my second. Just a fun game to play, see how it goes. So market's going down. Neo down to 135. Litecoin down to 116. Handle, I got a buy order in at 110. GRS down to 53.74. Doji down to 40, which I bought at that price. And I've already moved it to my Trezor wallet. Bitcoin Cash 448 down 237%. And a lot of these coins just, I mean, getting their asses kicked to say the least. This is well, just when you have a big low, you have the correctionary phase, the 18 like it does. You see it leaving the band. That was the weakness stating, okay, things aren't looking so good. Price target, and it's not like you're pretty strong here, is down to this level. So what do we do here? Now what question mark situation? Maybe it's a bullish time, but I doubt it. On a but bearish level, having this market continue to go down and at least test maybe a 61.8 down move from point A low, which would be, well, there's a couple of them, this one here and this one here, but at least a move down to say around 38th, in this 38 area maybe seems in order. Conservatively, maybe around 40. But do you do it first by coming back to the 18, this time the lows, most likely resisting this area where it's supported, and then breaking down, showing weakness on the 18 lows and that stuff? Maybe that'll be the case. If it breaks below this, I would be like, okay, fast move, 41, all that type of yada yada type of stuff. But I'm going to finish this off by Neo. Then I'm going to finish it off with the Bitcoin dominance. But when I'm finishing off with Neo, I'm doing so on the mathematical level. This up move, this up price, was about 270 high change, close to 273, whatever, we'll say 273. It's been basically, it's not even a wide water slide move. It's betweening a water slide down move to elevator. An elevator is literally 1, 2, 3 periods straight down. And it has pretty much been an elevator move since the decline here, about at the start of the week on May 3rd. Significant down moves. So you can say it's down too much here. Well, it's down further. And when we look at this on other time frames, this went up fast, and then it's had this big correction. This little support level here was retested from this point. It's had this little bit of a rally, so maybe we could do Fibonacci downside. We got the low of, we'll call it the 1672 handle. We'll take this high, which is the 2743 handle. The downside target is the 1231 handle, which is close. It's getting there. Probably would be more than that. And I'm not a big fan of doing the Fibonacci downside if the lower high rally is just that. I expect a bigger move, like say to 46, 45. So I really wouldn't want to use it there. But fill some of this empty space. Either this coin's good or it's not. Plain and simple. If it's not, you're probably going to end up losing, and with any of these types of coins from this point on, because it's on its way to oblivion, nothing, or however you want to call it at that. But if it's got something good, even if the price action comes down here, and you're buying in here, and you were buying back in here, well, if the price action is good here, do you plan on it going back in this area again? Meaning everything you buy at prices that were significantly higher than where the low will end up becoming can work out very well, especially as I've mentioned with in here, when you're trading this in little mechanisms with other coins, playing away at intraday moves, any type of arbitrage, any type of way you can profit on the side. Well, that's just having an advantage of having ownership of supply towards the market. Take a look at NEO against the dollar. This is where it makes things look really, really interesting to me. Back in 2017, and back when was the start of the year, this thing was just congesting at around 12 cents. And then the big hop thing happened. All cryptos go up together. Will an event like that happen? If it does, that's great, and that's going to be very profitable. That's part of risk reward management within playing this crypto game, because that's part of the reward portion of the analysis. But in this case, went from that 12 cents, congested here at 20, straight up to about 14 bucks. That's like 70 times gain. A little bit of consolidation. Then it went from a $14 high to a $57 high. Little bit of a pullback to about $14. $57, then little bit of a pullback to 14. This is just saying monstrosity volatility. And then we look at this high, 200. And now we talk about point A low, point B high. Well, let's calculate some Fibonacci. What do we got for a low here? We have about 7.88 cents. That's the number I'm going to use. Even though the answers are going to come rounded, it's going to be higher numbers than this, of course. It does calculate it within these decimals. So 7.88 cents was the low. The high, again, around $200. Let's see if I could find it. 20,060 cents is what I'll use. So that means the key Fibonacci numbers, the 61.8 and the 31, represent 1,003 cents. That's $10, so $31 and $10 on the way down. Well, the 31 has already hit. The $10 is right now. It's right now. It hasn't finished its test. And the more we see this just hanging in there sideways, well, to me, it's either got to have a 76.4% correction, or the bottom's in and we start making higher highs and higher lows. So therefore, if it's going to go up, and I'm not going to try to predict from here what it's going to do. There's no way, no how. But if it goes down, my next price objective is in that of $1.58. And my next price objective to the upside is $31.52. That's a monstrosity of volatility. Which is why if you're ever looking for type of strategies where you put two coins together and you don't care about the Bitcoin price and you're just playing the ratio, it doesn't matter what happens, you're not going to deposit anymore. No matter how wild down or whatever this goes, you can't risk anymore. But if it's going to have wild up and down moves, if you cross this with another coin that's going to do some wild volatility and stuff like that as well, you could gain a whole bunch of, well, both of the coins in which you trade. So that's why I decided, it's probably a good time to do that exact strategy with that. I'm playing Neo with Florin, but I'm going to finish this video off with a Bitcoin dominance. BTCD, and I got this from a comment a couple days ago. Thank you very much, because this is most certainly an interesting an interesting chart. I'm glad I can see it here. The entire crypto market would be nice too, but I don't. Doesn't seem like it's available on here. Um, anyway, as far as the weekly chart on such, it's now this retest of this previous high. What was this number? It was 61.21%. It's marginally above it. On the daily chart, this is where it's just becoming wild. It just will not stop going up. It's, if you want to talk about type of overextended, Bollinger Bands. Yeah, it's probably breaking them too, and it has been for quite some time. So as long as people are willing to be buying Bitcoin at this rate right now, and not buying the other coins, and in many cases selling it probably just to get their Bitcoin numbers because it just keeps going up, then that's just going to be the case. But markets go up, markets go down. And in play, this thing is very wild card, because you can say this is up a lot, but it could go up a lot further, technically, when I look at it from this type of perspective. For if this thing doesn't resist this level and it keeps going, well, where do we go? Next key level. Well, this previous level of resistance is about 68. And it could just continue to do this over the next 10, 20, 30 days, and the daily time frame doesn't really change its status too much. It just keeps on making its way going up without any extraordinary up moves and no extraordinary down moves, just doing what it's been doing for the last 30 or 40 days or close to such. And in this, again, this would most likely be Bitcoin buyers bringing the price up, with other altcoins either going down or hanging in there, meaning going sideways against the dollar. And in some cases, or maybe most of them, a much lower rate of ascent. In an example, Bitcoin goes up 30%, all the other ones go up between 3 and 15. But you know what? The market does what it does. I'm just going to keep on dividing numbers by numbers, keep on moving coins from place to place, pushing the buy button here, the sell button here. Uh, Cryptocurrency world, thank you for tuning in. And I made this 33 minutes. That is just crazy. Crazy, crazy how I keep on making these extra long. But I wanted to make sure it was close enough to that key number. I waited all day, and I'm thinking, you know what, it's probably going to be. I could wait till the morning, and every morning I wake up, is it there at 63? No. Okay, and I'm probably going to wake up, is it there? Oh, nope, 63.30, I'll say, or 63.20. Let me finalize this with the Bitcoin chart again. And I'm showing it at 62.95. The time now is 23 hours, 17 minutes, or 11:17 p.m. Looking to break 6,300. The highs for the day, it's over 63 now. 63.05 is the intraday high. We're at all time, not all time, year to date highs. This is the 1 minute time frame. So an official hit could be happening at the conclusion of this video. I kind of want to wait and just see, because, what's the probability odds it goes above 63.40 in the next 102 seconds? Actually, no, this is the hour time frame. Let's just change that. Let's see where we stand. Yeah, what's the chances that it hits it in the next 5 minutes? 30%, 40%, 50? No, it's not 50. Is it? I mean, it just keeps going up. Obviously, the Pierce Extra, or excuse me, the new high, like back in here, the high was 62.60. You do your calculations, and then And here, 62.65, new calculations. Oh, 62.83. And then this one here, oh, we're up to 62.90. Oh, 62.95. Okay, 63.19. And well, now it's pulled back to 63.03. How exciting. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day, and I'll talk to you. End of the week, Friday is the next day for me. It's already Friday, already uh, east of the Atlantic. I'm, of course, on the other side of the Atlantic. Bye bye.